Hello everyone, welcome to session 27 of Theory of Computation or Formal Languages and Automata Theory. In today's session, we are going to discuss about push-down automata. So we will discuss the various concepts related to push-down automata in this unit. So let us have a look on the syllabus that we are having in this unit. So first thing we are going to discuss about the push-down automata, its definition, model, mathematical representation, instantaneous description. Then we will see how to represent the language accepted by the push-down automata. Then design of push-down automata. So we will go through the various problems for which we will construct the push-down automata. Then we will see the difference between deterministic and non-deterministic push-down automata. We will also work on this non-deterministic push-down automata. We will also construct non-deterministic push-down automata for the given language properties. Next, we will see the equivalence of push-down automata and context-free grammars. Okay, and then we will see the conversion. That means how a PDA will be converted into CFG and how that CFG can be converted into push-down automata. And we will also consider the two-stack push-down automata. We will see its advantages, and at the end we are going to discuss about the applications of push-down automata. So this is the one of the easiest unit in this overall curriculum of this formal languages and automata theory. So just try to concentrate on these concepts, okay? And we will see the various concepts. So let us start with the definition of pushdown automata. So the automata that we discussed till now are finite automata, right? So we have seen what is that DFA, what is that NFA, what is that NFA epsilon, and how to convert DFA to NFA to DFA, NFA epsilon to NFA without epsilon, Moore machine, Mealy machine, regular expressions, regular languages. Okay, so these are the concepts that are related to that finite automata, right? And in unit 3 we discussed about context free grammar and context free languages, right? So here since in the previous session we discussed about that context free language, so that context free language is accepted by this automata which is called as push down automata, right? So context free language is accepted by a push down automata, right? Whereas regular language is accepted by finite automata, right? So here we are going to discuss that how this pushdown automata will accept the context-free languages, right? So first thing, what is its definition? So pushdown automata is a finite automaton with some auxiliary memory called stack, right? So already we discussed about that finite automata, right? So what is the limitation in the finite automata that we are having? So we cannot process the inputs which are related to each other, right? So let me say to demonstrate this, let me give one example. So let me write one language property that a power n b power n, a power n b power n, right? So this language we cannot accept through this finite automata, right? So this is the language which cannot be accepted by finite automata. The reason is there, here if you observe the language property, the string must have same number of A's followed by same number of B's. So A power n, B power n means the string must have equal number of A's followed by equal number of B's, right? So if you want to process such type of strings by using the finite automata, it is not possible. Why? Because in finite automata we can read one symbol, okay, at a time, and after reading that symbol we move from left to right. So let me say we have read A, the next go to the next input symbol, that is A, right? So here when you read the second input symbol you couldn't able to count the number of occurrences of A's that you have encountered till now, right? So why? Because we are not having additional memory to keep track of how many number of A's that you have read up to a particular instant of time, right? So let me consider I have taken the first input symbol A, okay, that's fine. When after moving to the next input symbol, the next input symbol is also A, right? So at this second input symbol, whenever we encounter A, we must able to identify that at that particular point of time we have read two input symbols A, right? So that count we cannot able to measure by using that finite automata. Okay, so that is the reason the finite automata cannot accept the language in which we are having the parts of the inputs that are related to one another. So if you observe, the string is having the two parts, right? A power n, b power n, right? So this part, first part, a power n, must be equal to the b power n. That means number of a's must be equal to the number of b's, right? So that is the limitation with the finite automaton, right? So you could not able to count the number of occurrences of a's and compare it with the number of occurrences of b's, right? So that is the difficulty with the finite automata. So that limitation is overcome here by adding one additional memory called stack, right? So push down automata, we can say it is an extension of finite automata where we are adding or we are using an auxiliary memory called stack, right? So what happened by adding this stack, we can able to store the inputs in this stacks. Okay, so in this stack, so those input symbols which are there in the stack can be compared with the remaining part of the input, right? So let me consider here I am having uh, 2 A's, 2 B's. So number of A's is 2 and number of B's is also 2. So this is the language that I am going to accept through the pushdown automata, right? So here we are having pushdown automata. It is nothing but finite automata along with stack. Okay. So what happened here? How we are going to accept by using the pushdown automata? So just I am giving the overview here. So the moment when you get A, just push that A into the stack. Okay. So as long as you are going to get A's during processing the input, just store those input symbol A onto the stack. So first input is A, so store it onto the stack. Next input is A, store onto the stack. That means push A onto the stack, right? The moment when you get B, pop the stack, right? So the moment when you see B, pop the stack. So what is the top of the stack? A. So pop it. Now again, read the next input. What is the next input? B. So again, pop the stack. What is the next input? So we are not having any input to process and the stack is empty. So here we can say that this is the language which is accepted by pushdown automata, right? So here to track out or to trace out the number of occurrences of A's, we are using this stack here, right? And rest of the portion is same, that is same as this finite automata, right? So if you observe, uh, this concept is not there in the finite automata. Why? Because we are not having additional memory where we could able to store the previous read inputs, right? So that facility here we are having by using the stack. We can store the previously read input into the stack, right? And those inputs which are there onto the stack or the symbols which are there onto the stack can be used for making the comparison with respect to the remaining part of the input, right? So here whatever the symbols that we have stored onto the stack are going to be compared with the number of b's here, isn't it? So number of A's we have stored in the stack, and those A symbols are going to be compared with respect to the B symbols, right? And based on this, we are going to say that the language is accepted or not, right? So let it be. We will discuss this clearly when we solve the problems related to this pushdown automata. So just to give a clear idea on the limitations of the finite automata and the advantage of the finite pushdown automata here, I have given this example, right? So let it be. Pushdown automata is a finite automata with an auxiliary memory called stack, right? So stack is going to be consisting of the grammar symbols, right? So in this stack, we are going to push the grammar symbols or we are going to store the grammar symbols, right? So this is the simple representation that pushdown automata is the combination of finite automaton along with a stack. Okay, it accepts context free language. So pushdown automata accepts context free language, right? So let us have a look on the model of pushdown automata. So if you observe the model of the finite automata, model of pushdown automata, it consisting of the components like input tape, finite control, and push down store or push down stack, right? So PDS is nothing but push down store. Okay, PDS is nothing but push down store, or we could also say it is a stack. Okay, right. So already we know that input tape is used for storing the inputs. Okay, input tape is used for storing the input, and we can say this is arrow is a read head by using which the finite control reads the input from the input tape. Okay, and here initially on the stack we are having this z or z naught. So this is called as the bottom of the stack, right? So initially the stack consisting of this symbol z naught, right? Okay, and this push down store is used for storing the grammar symbols. Okay, we use this push down store or stack for storing the grammar symbols, right? So this is the direction of push, and this is the direction of pop, right? So already this is same. That means whatever the symbol that you push, it is going to uh, appear on the top, right? And the moment when you pop it, what happened? The topmost symbol is going to be removed from the stack, right? So that is the normal push and pop operation that we usually perform with the stack, right? So here, just model of push down automata consisting of input tape, finite control, and push down store, right? And that all the input symbols are stored in this input tape. Uh, Here, if you observe, the input tape consisting of sequence of cells. Okay, each cell contains only one input symbol. That input symbol is read by using this read head, and the finite control will perform the state transition based on the input symbol and stack symbol, right? So here, in order to perform the state transition, the finite control considers the input from the input tape as well as the symbols from the stack. Okay, top of the stack, right? So here we are going to consider the two things, right? The first thing is that input symbol, and next one is the stack symbol. So by considering these two things at a particular state, we are going to perform the state transition, right? So we will see that state transition function in the coming slide. Okay, so just to give a brief diagrammatic representation of a push down automata, I used this figure, right? So this is the representation of push down automata. Next. So the same thing, just now I explained, model of push down automata consists of three components. The first component is input tape. It consisting of sequence of cells used for storing the input symbols. Next, push down store, which is also called as stack. So initially contains a symbol Z or Z naught. So we are considering the symbol as Z naught. So you have to mark this symbol as Z naught. And that stack is also used for storing the grammar symbols. Okay, and next one, finite control. See here, it performs the state transition or reading input symbol and symbol on top of the stack. So I just now I mentioned that from a particular state, it considers the current input symbol from input tape and symbol on the top of the stack to perform the state transition, right? Next one, in some state, on reading an input symbol and top of the stack, it performs state transition, right? So just now I mentioned that consider that you are in some state q naught, right? So in state q naught, on reading some input symbol small a on top of the stack z naught. Okay, so here we are going to represent that transition by using three tuples here, right? The first one is q naught is the current state. Next, small a is the input symbol from input tape, and z naught is the stack symbol from stack, okay, or top of the stack. And based on that, we will perform the state transition. Let me say q1 comma q1 comma. So here if you see, it performs state transition. Okay, that's fine, and writes a string of symbols on push down store, right? Along with performing the state transition, it also writes some symbol onto the stack. So let me say here q1 comma az naught, right? So here what is this equation representing? So it is representing that the finite control or push down automata is in some state q naught. It is considering the input symbol small a, that means on reading the input symbol small a and stack symbol z naught, it is going to the state q1. That means it is performing the state transition towards the state q1, comma, and writing these string of symbols onto the stack, right? So what it is writing? A Z naught. So if you observe, A Z naught means how it will be written onto the stack. So it is written in such a way that A appears on the top of the stack, right? A appears on the top of the stack. So it must be considered from left to right. So you have to insert the symbols from left to right. So what is the symbol that is inserted onto the stack, that is pushed onto the stack? Z naught, then followed by A, right? So that is the meaning. So on reading small a and stack symbol Z naught on state Q naught, it is going to perform state transition towards the state Q1 or moving towards the state Q1, and writing these symbols A Z naught onto the stack, right? So while writing, remember that this symbol A must appear onto the tab and Z naught must be on the bottom, right? So you have to push the symbols onto the stack from left to right. Okay, so sorry, this one, right to left. So like right to left. So what is the rightmost symbol here? We are having Z naught. So it must go into the bottom of the stack. Next we are having A, it must go to the top of the stack, right? So like this. So you have to push the symbols onto the stack from left to sorry, right to left. Okay, move, push the symbols from right to left. Next. So mathematical representation. So pushdown automata consists of 7 tuples and it is mathematically expressed as capital M is equal to Q comma sigma comma tau, tau comma delta comma Q naught comma Z naught comma capital F, right? So what is capital Q? Capital Q is nothing but set of states. Sigma is nothing but finite set of input symbols. Tau is nothing but finite set of stack symbols, right? So additionally here we are using the stack and we are using the stack symbol. So that set of stack symbols is represented by tau here. Delta, as we know, it is a transition function. Q naught is the initial state. Z naught is the what we can call it as a bottom of the stack. Okay, so it is considered as initial symbol of the stack. Z naught is initial symbol of the stack. So just now I mentioned that initially the stack consists of the symbol Z naught, right? Later, anyhow, we will push the grammar symbols onto the stack, but initially the stack consisting of Z naught, right? And next one, capital F, as we know that it is a set of final states, right? So overall, this pushdown automata is represented by using 7 tuples, right? So these are the description of each tuple. First one is a finite non-empty set of states denoted by capital Q, a finite non-empty set of input symbols denoted by sigma, a finite non-empty set of pushdown symbols denoted by tau, right? Next, fourth, transition function. So just now I mentioned the transition function, right? It maps current state, current input, that means Q cross sigma. It may also consider epsilon. Okay, so it maps current state and current input symbol that belongs to alphabet set sigma, or it could be either epsilon, along with the stack symbol tau, along with the stack symbol tau, to produce next state, to produce next state, along with string of symbols onto the stack. Okay, so it maps current state, okay, current input symbol sigma and stack symbol tau to produce next state, and along with this tau star, that means that stack symbols are going to be pushed onto the stack, right? So it also writes the push down symbols onto the stack. Okay, push down symbols onto the stack. So just now I mentioned here, right? So Q naught comma A comma Z naught, right? So this belongs to capital Q. Q cross small a belongs to alphabet set sigma cross Z naught, as I mentioned. Okay, so here I considered the stack symbol as Z naught. So it could be anything. So let me consider it is tau. It gives, that's q1. Q1 is nothing but next state, that is a member of capital Q, and along with we are having some a z naught. So a z naught part is nothing but string of what we can call it as stack symbols, right? So let me say it is tau star. So it could be either epsilon or it could be either one symbol, two symbols, or combination of any symbols, right? So this is how we are representing the transition function, right? So same thing we represented in a form of this expression. Next, initial state denoted by q naught. Q naught belongs to capital Q. Okay. The next one, a special symbol called initial symbol on push down store denoted by Z naught. So it is initial symbol of the stack which is represented by Z naught. And next one is a set of final state which is represented by capital F, such that capital F subset equals to capital Q, right? So F subset equals to capital Q here, right? Now, so this is about the mathematical representation of pushdown automata. Okay. Next. Next, we are having this instantaneous description. So remember, this instantaneous description is represented by ID, right? So capital ID is nothing but instantaneous description. So what is this instantaneous description? So the configuration of pushdown automata at particular instant of time is described by this ID, right? So if you want to examine the configuration of the pushdown automata at a particular point of time or particular instant of time, then it is represented mathematically by using this ID, instantaneous description. So what this instantaneous description consists of? It is consisting of three components. Okay, present state, okay, string of symbols to be read, and contents of the push down store. PDS means push down store. So it is consisting of these three components, right? So ID, instantaneous description, represents the configuration of push down automata at particular instant of time, and it is consisting of three components, right? So here let us consider one example. Consider a push down automata capital A. So here representing the pushdown automata with capital A, you could also represent by using capital M, right? So you can represent any letter, capital letter for PDA, right? So here, if you observe the instantaneous description, if delta of P comma A comma Z means transition function, that means if you are in state P, on reading input symbol A and stack symbol Z, it goes to the state Q, it goes to the state Q and push the symbols gamma onto the stack, right? So this is the transition function that is given, right? If delta of P comma A comma Z is equal to Q comma gamma, then see ID instantaneous description. So how we are writing? What is the present state? I am having the present state P, string of symbols to be read. So I am processing this string A followed by X, okay, comma, contents of PDS. So I am having this contents from the PDS push down store Z alpha, right? So what I am doing here is that I am writing this instantaneous description, that is I am in state P. I want to process the string of symbols, that is A followed by X comma, and I am having the contents of push down store as Z alpha, right? Now this representation you already know, vertical bar along with horizontal bar, it is called as V dash notation, right? V dash rotation, V dash. Okay. Now, so already we can read only this symbol, one symbol at a time. So A. So P on A, that means if you are in state P on reading small a and reading the stack symbol Z, you are going to state Q, right? So that state you have to write here. Okay, Q, comma. What is the remaining input that we have to process? That is X. So you have to write that X here. That is the second tuple. And third one, what we have done is here is on reading A Z from state P, we are going to the state Q and the stack content Z alpha, sorry, Z is replaced with alpha, sorry, gamma. Z is replaced with gamma. So we have read Z, and in place of Z we are pushing the symbol gamma. So what is the stack content? It will become gamma alpha. It will become gamma alpha, right? So this is how we could write the instantaneous description, right? So if you observe this, P is nothing but the current state, AX is the string that we are processing, and Z alpha is the stack content, right? So this is the stack content that we are having. So let me say I'm having this some state P, okay, on reading A comma Z. Okay, so initially the stack is having Z. Okay, so that Z we have read. Next it goes to the state Q. Okay, it goes to the state Q, and what we are doing, we are pushing the symbol gamma onto the stack, right? So that is the transition function meaning. Okay, next id, what it is saying, you are in state P, you want to process ax comma z alpha is your stack content, right? So from this transition function we could say that on processing small a and z, from state we go to the state Q, right? We go to the state Q. Afterwards, what is the remaining input that we need to process? X. So that is the second part, right? And third one is the stack content, right? So in place of Z, what we have to push? We have to push gamma, right? So already we are having the alpha onto the stack. So what we will do, we will pop Z, and instead of Z, we have to push the gamma. So what is your stack content will become? It will become gamma alpha, right? So this is how we can perform the operation. So just I will explain with this with one example here. So consider this is the push down automata here. So we are having the states, three states Q naught, Q1, Q2. So Q2 is represented by double circle. It is the final state, right? And C, we are having the transitions which are represented like this. So here if you see Q naught, Q naught, A comma Z naught slash A comma Z naught. So what it means? Observe carefully. So what it means? Q naught on reading, that means you are in state Q naught and you are reading the input symbol A comma Z naught, means you are reading the stack symbol which is Z naught slash, okay, slash A Z naught. So slash A Z naught represents the symbols that you are pushing onto the stack, okay, after performing the state transition. Okay, so what it means, Q naught, if you are in Q naught on reading A comma Z naught, you will be in the same state Q naught, okay, slash A comma Z naught, A Z naught. A Z naught is nothing but this is the string that we are pushing onto the stack, right? And same we are having Q naught on A, that means on Q naught the input symbol is A. Now comma your stack symbol is also A, right? Now what you are doing, you are pushing the symbols A onto the stack. Okay, next Q naught on B, where you are going to state Q1, right? So Q naught on B, Q naught on B, okay, that means input symbol. And what is the stack symbol? Now you are having A. So Q naught on B comma A, what you are doing, you are going to the state Q1, you are going to the state Q1. Now what you are writing onto the stack, you are writing epsilon. So you are writing epsilon onto the stack, or you are pushing epsilon onto the stack, right? And next Q1 on B means self transition. So Q1 on B self transition, that means Q1 on B comma A. B is the input symbol and A is the stack symbol, right? So when you are in state Q1 and reading the input symbol B and stack symbol A, you are in the same state Q1 slash what you are pushing onto the stack, epsilon. So we are pushing that epsilon onto the stack, right? Next Q1 on epsilon, where you are going, Q1 on epsilon comma Z naught. That means in Q1 if you get input symbol epsilon and stack symbol Z naught, where you are going to the state Q naught, and what you are writing onto the stack, Z naught, right? So what you are pushing onto the stack, Z naught, right? So this is how we can write uh, this what we can call it as the transitions, right? Okay. Now, so here if you observe, suppose the input string is AB, right? So I am processing the input AB. So I am representing the instantaneous description, right? So we will see how the pushdown automata process this string. So what is the initial configuration of pushdown automata? Initial configuration, how do we write? So initially we are in the starting state. So that state we have to write Q naught. What is the input symbol that we have to process? What is the input string that we have to process? AB. So you have to write AB. That means Q naught comma AB comma. What is the stack symbol that you are having initially? Z naught. So Q naught comma AB comma Z naught will be the initial configuration. Okay, initial configuration. Now from this configuration we are processing the input, right? So what is the first input we have to process? A. So Q naught on A on Z naught. That means processing A Z naught from Q naught where you are going. So by seeing this transition diagram, you can find that Q naught on A and Z naught, you will be in the same state Q naught, and the stack content will be A Z naught, right? So the instantaneous description will be written like this: Q naught comma AB comma Z naught V dash gives, okay. So processing A and Z naught from Q naught where we are going, Q naught itself, okay. Next, after processing, what is the remaining symbol that we have to process? B, okay, comma. Now what is the stack? It will become AZ naught, right? So remember one thing, whenever we are reading the stack symbol means we have popped the stack, okay. So as I mentioned that what is the initial symbol onto the stack? It is Z naught, right? So whenever you are considering the Z naught, okay, whenever you are considering the Z naught during the transition, it means that it is out of the stack, right? It is out of the stack, right? So that is the meaning, right? So what we are doing on reading input symbol A and Z naught in state Q naught, we are going to state Q naught itself, okay. We are going to state Q naught itself, and we are writing the string onto the stack as A Z naught, right? So A Z naught, okay. So if you see the ID here, how we are writing on reading A and Z naught in state Q naught, we are in the same state Q naught. The remaining input that is to be processed is B. Now what we have written onto the stack? A Z naught. So that will remain same. Now next ID, how will we write? Q naught on B along with A. That means you are in state Q naught and you are reading input symbol B and stack symbol A. So just check out the state transition diagram where it is going and what is the stack content that we are writing. Next, Q naught on B on A. Okay, Q naught on B on A. So here see Q naught on B and A, it is going to state Q1, right? It is going to state Q1. So write down that state Q1. What is the remaining that input that we have to process after B? It is nothing. So epsilon. So epsilon, comma. What is the stack content that we are writing? What is the symbols that we are pushing onto the stack? Epsilon, right? So epsilon. So we have popped A and processed A, and then we pushed the epsilon. So epsilon we pushed means we are pushing nothing, right? So what is the stack content? It will remain Z naught, right? So Q1 comma epsilon comma Z naught will be the configuration. Next, again in Q1 on processing epsilon along with Z naught where you are going. So if you observe the state transition diagram, excuse me, on processing epsilon Z naught from Q1 where it is going to the state Q2, right? So it is going to the state Q2. And what is it is writing onto the stack? Z naught, right? So write down that Q2 comma epsilon. So we are not having any more symbol to process. So we are writing that epsilon comma what we are pushing onto the stack? Z naught. So we are pushing Z naught again, right? So since we reached the final state, we can say that the input AB is accepted, right? So in which state we are in right now? Q2. Since we are in final state, we can say that AB is accepted, right? This AB is accepted. Okay. So finally, we could write like this: Q naught on processing AB along with Z naught in one or more steps, it gives final state that is Q2 and stack content Z naught. So Q2 comma Z naught. Since Q2 is a final state, the string AB is accepted. Right? So this is how we could perform this. That means we can check the acceptance of string by using this instantaneous description. Okay, instantaneous description. Right. So I think this concept is clear. Just try to understand this concept once. I will solve some of the problems related to push down automata in the coming session. So just meanwhile go through these basic concepts once. Okay. If you feel any difficulty, just let me know these queries in the next session. Okay. Fine. Thank you for attending this session. Okay.